Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 10 of the Geek Press podcast. On this episode, we're joined by Colin K. Bass, a personal friend of mine and internet personality. In this episode, we talk about WandaVision, and we also talk about Colin K. Bass's filmmaking process and everything about that. But I also want to mention, roughly around the 44-minute mark, the podcast does kind of crash, but we pick up right where we left off, and I apologize for this inconvenience again. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thank you. Hello, everybody. My name is Luis Gutierrez, and welcome to episode 10 of the Geek Press podcast. I am joined by my co-host. He's right down below me if you're watching on video. This is Jacob Knight, and we're joined by a very special guest, a dear friend of mine, a friend of Noah. His name is Colin K. Bass. He's over here to my left if you're watching on video. Colin, can you introduce yourself really quick? Describe yourself in one or two words. Only
one or two words?
Only one or
Okay.
two.
Human. I don't know.
Yeah, just tell everyone a little bit about yourself really quick. Like just a quick little
I'll go quick. My name's Colin K. Bass. I do a lot of writing and acting and social media marketing for kind of the nerd world. Anything from Power Rangers to DC to Marvel. I've played a lot of different roles, and I'm a huge fan, and I love writing and acting, and you guys are awesome. I wanted to hop on the podcast and talk to you guys.
Thank you. Like I said, we're happy that you're on episode 10 of our podcast. This really means a lot. We usually go around and but talk about like some media we've been consuming, and I want to keep that tradition going. So it could be like video games, movies, books, whatever, old or new. Has there been anything you've been watching, playing? Take the reins.
Yeah, I'm on the last episode of The Stand. It's a Stephen King novel turned into a mini-series on CBS All Access. I cannot recommend it enough. Of course, WandaVision, and then playing Sea of Thieves with you. And that's basically it. Otherwise, I'm kind of a rewatch guy. It's kind of a thing I'm trying to change. But other than that, those are the newer ones I've been watching.
What shows are you rewatching right now?
Right now, New Girl, because I'm dating this girl and we both love New Girl, and I have some Nick Miller vibes with me and she has some Jess vibes with her. So it's funny to rewatch the episodes and see the similarities.
Nice. That's really cute. That's really cute. I'm loving it.
Is it though? Is it cute?
I mean, yeah. All right, now, Jacob Knight, do you want to take the reins really quick and talk about what you've been watching or consuming?
Hey guys, I have just been, like Colin said, I've been watching a lot of WandaVision. I have
Not together.
No, not together, unfortunately.
Wait, you weren't there? Oh man.
No, you didn't see me. The point is, I've been watching I've been catching up on my CW shows, because even though they're cheese balls as heck, I still find joy from them, even though they're ridiculous. So I've been catching up on all my CW shows in time for the new season, and I've been playing. I haven't been playing any video games lately.
No Genshin Impact?
No, I am not playing the Chinese video game that you teased me about. I haven't been playing any video games lately, but just chilling, going to school, etc. Nothing new to update.
I'm kind of in the same boat. I need to look for new shows to watch. I'm currently watching BoJack Horseman. Like I said, you guys.
Ooh, that's so good.
Yeah, I highly recommend you guys watch it. But it's one of those shows, and I'm gonna sound like a hipster. You have to be in the right mindset to watch it, because
what a hipster,
right? Because it deals with topics like it's heavily themed around depression, drug addiction, stuff like that. And like the big concept of the show, at least what I take away of it, is like you're your own worst enemy. And so I've been watching a lot of that.
Relate to that.
Yeah, it's a really good show. I've been watching a lot of that. I've been playing a lot of Sea of Thieves with Colin over here, and yeah, that's been mostly all of it, and of course WandaVision, and of course we are going to talk about spoilers, by the way, of the current episode of WandaVision, because
we had a big old fight last episode.
Yeah,
Colin, me and Lewis. Because Lewis is team, this is the X-Men coming in, and I'm team, no, why the hell would they do that? We got into an actual discussion, which was crazy.
It is an insanely good show, insanely good. God damn it, it's so good. Colin, do you want to take the reins on WandaVision right now? Where do you think it's going and this and that?
Yes, if there's one thing I know about, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige. If there's one thing I know about him, it's a big misdirection. So they'll trick you into thinking it's one thing, and then they'll lead you to think it's one thing, and then it's something completely else. That's what I've learned from his writing style and his, showrunner style. So in my head, everyone's like doing these like breakdowns of like little lines from people of everything. All I know is that what we expect will probably not be what's going to happen. But I don't think that they would rely on, a streaming show to introduce a multi-million-dollar franchise like the X-Men. That's what I think.
Thank you.
I think based off of what I've seen, and I don't know if you guys know this about me, I love IMDb. I dive into IMDb. Like if I watch something, I read all the trivia, I look at the actors, I read interviews. It's just kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. James Spader was credited for WandaVision, aka Ultron. So my guess, an AI, you never really die, right? There's frequencies, there's waves and stuff. So my guess is that it's not about the X-Men, because it's just that's what people would expect with Quicksilver from the X-Men coming in. I think that's a big misdirect. And I think it's going to be more about some other villain playing into the whole Wanda's power scheme of like the House of M, like from the comics. So I think that Evan Peters was great. It was such a cool, Easter egg for the fans that watch everything. But I do think it's a misdirect, and I think we're gonna expect, Fantastic Four or X-Men or whatever. But I think it's gonna be some villain, which I won't name, but I think it's gonna be a villain that's gonna be the big reveal at the end of the season. And that's my guess.
All right, okay.
Thank you. Lewis won't listen to me, but maybe he'll listen to you. Like this, that was just an Easter egg, a fun reference. It was just a fun reference.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna explain to all of you guys how you're all wrong, but I'm gonna let Noah go first.
I am so glad Colin could like reiterate a few of my points from our last podcast. They want their own X-Men. They want their own branded X-Men. They want their own actors. They want their own stories. They're not going to take from the Foxman universe. I swear. So I feel like it is also somebody on the outside. I think what was interesting that he just said is that it's kind of in the Marvel. Am I echoing?
Just a little, but it's
okay.
I'm hearing a slight echo, but it's all good.
Okay, you can just cut that. Anyways, the point is that Marvel loves mystery. It loves giving its fans things to figure out. Like there are entire YouTube channels and accounts dedicated to breaking down Marvel. So they know what they're doing when they plant these like Easter eggs and stuff. So they want the hype, they want the talk, they want the hashtags to trend. So I just think it's a really smart marketing thing to have a former X-Men in there.
So listen, okay, I agree with the both of you saying that like, this is like a good like nod and a wink.
But here we go, Noah.
Here we go. Every podcast.
But it's also one of those things too. It's like I feel like Kevin Feige, he's wild. He's fucking crazy, He's just he's like I'm gonna do whatever I want. And right now he's going around the MCU planting his little Marvel seeds, He's like, all right, you get X-Men, you get X-Men. And I feel like this is his way. And I got no proof to back this up. I'm just going on blind faith.
Yeah,
where else is he planting seeds, Lou?
Yeah, what other seeds?
All right, there's one other seed. One other seed that I noticed.
Okay, where?
I'm glad. Hold on,
where?
Let me talk.
Where?
All right.
Okay, talk.
So I feel like he's planting his little seeds right now. And he's like, okay, but he does it very subtly. And, Quicksilver in the grand scheme isn't like, I wouldn't say he's like a pivotal X-Men. So he's not like when I say by that, he's not like a Cyclops. He's not like a Wolverine, a Jean Grey, something like that. He's not one of them. But if you've paid attention in Ant-Man and the Wasp, there's a scene, and it's a very subtle, you can miss it. There's a scene where they rescue the mother when they're in the quantum zone. And
Michelle Pfeiffer?
Yes, Catwoman. When they rescue Catwoman.
Don't ever disrespect Michelle Pfeiffer like that again, you plebe.
So there's a scene where they rescue her, and then she's talking to Ant-Man and the Wasp about something like, this could be the next evolution in humans right here. This is the future, I strongly believe. But then they just carry on with the movie. So I believe right there they were setting the foundation very subtly, saying like, oh, humans are going to evolve. Not all of them, but humans are going to evolve. and they might reference this later in future Marvel movies. But those are the only two seeds I've noticed.
Do you remember he's planting seeds across the Marvel universe, and you're like, there's actually only two, and I'm not even sure about one of them. All right. But
yeah,
hey,
okay.
let's take a second to notice that Lou is documenting how confident he is in what he's saying, and we can always go back to this and rub it in his face. That's exciting to me.
That's every stream he does, every podcast, everything he does.
Has he ever been right?
Yeah.
I think with things that don't actually matter,
Just
like karmically it balances out. But yeah, no, this is just becoming the Wanderverse theory podcast.
Oh my god.
I mean,
I thought I was here for an interview. I didn't want to battle Lou on his stupid ideas.
We'll get to that.
Okay, I have an interview question. I do have an interview question.
Oh, okay.
Whenever we're ready. Whenever we're ready for the interview.
All right, hold on. I want to say this. Well, I want to ask
keep meandering.
I want to ask this. Who do you guys think that the villain for WandaVision is? Because the popular theory I'm seeing on the internet is that it's Mephisto, which is essentially the devil of the MCU or the Marvel Comics, correct? That he is somehow like dance my puppet dance. Who do you guys think the villain is?
I honestly think it's Wanda herself. I think that she just was so heartbroken that she tried to make something out of nothing, and it caused, this ripple effect across the whole universe. But then I think a different villain is going to come in and kind of take advantage of that. And I don't know if it's Mephisto or anything. There's no like real supernatural element to it with me. At least I feel like they would hint that at all. But I do feel like there's someone else that's going to play into Wanda's heartbreak. And I don't know who it is, but I will say that Wanda was the original villain of this whole thing. But I don't think there's a puppet master. I think that's more along the lines of like someone's going, oh, that's a lot of power. I could use that. And then that's what will be the big reveal later.
I think it's the director guy, the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., Tyler Hayward or whatever, because Vision said he just wanted his body to be left alone, the guy took the body. And Wanda rescued him. He maybe sent someone in. Things went wrong. I feel like he has to have some sort of different angle at this because he's been acting so sus. Yeah, the director guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he seemed pretty clueless though, but it might have all been an act.
Yeah,
I think it was an act.
I'm getting those vibes too. Like I agree with both of you guys on this one, so I can't really provide any new input. But I do agree with the idea that Wanda snapped and she's the villain. Yeah, and I do also agree that the sword.
I would say it's at least partially her.
Yeah,
fault.
The sword director has some his mischievous plans, and it was just like all the dominoes fell into place.
Okay, we all agree on something.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna stop talking about WandaVision for now. We'll get back to it. So Colin, here's a question I was thinking about. Okay, so I feel like some of the best questions I think of either come in one of three spots. Okay, it's either when I go into an interview like freshly blind. So let's say you tell me you're like, Luis, you have 5 minutes to interview so and so. Go make it happen. And I'm like, oh shit. Okay, I work really well under pressure like that. Okay. 2. Okay. While I'm taking a dump. 3. While I'm in the shower.
Yeah.
Now, as we all know, this interview / conversation with you didn't happen on the spot. So I want you to know it either came to me while I was in the shower or taking a dump. All right.
Both really, really important info.
Yes.
Thank you.
Do you feel special to know that when Lewis was doing those things, he was thinking about you?
Well, I fall asleep thinking about Lou, so it kind of makes sense.
I ship it.
Now, before we go any forward, I want to make it very clear that in one way, shape, or another, we are all kind of under the NerdBot banner, or were under the NerdBot banner. I used to be a writer for NerdBot. I am no longer with them. Colin is essentially, for like lack of a better term, he's like the face of NerdBot, I guess you could say, just to quickly simplify it. And
that's a good way.
Jacob Knight here is one of the staff writers of NerdBot. So I just kind of want to make that clear before we go forward.
I'd love to do shows for them, though. I think that could be fun.
So here's the question I've been meaning to ask you, okay?
Okay.
a lot of like your earlier stuff was kind of built around the Flash, and you were like, like fast. That was like your theme, speed. Now, here's the question: who do you think would win in a race? Okay, have you ever seen the movie Over the Hedge?
Yeah.
So you remember that squirrel that gets like super cracked up and is like running really fast?
Yes, played by Steve Carell, and he has energy drink and he gets super speed.
Okay, so let's call him the Steve Carell squirrel. We got Sonic. We got Quicksilver from the MCU, Quicksilver from Fox, and then we have Ezra Miller Flash, and we have the DC TV Flash. Who do you think's gonna win in a race out of those seven? And
DC TV Flash.
okay, who do you think's
Because
gonna get first, second, and third? Go.
okay, so I'm going like deep into my nerd knowledge right now. Okay, so first I'm gonna go DC TV Flash because he was time traveling back in like 2 years into being the Flash. Then I'm gonna go Ezra Miller Flash because he time traveled and we don't know how far into the future it was, but that's like the peak speed. Then I'm gonna go Sonic because technically, if you want to play like death battle rules, he could get the Chaos Emeralds and become Supersonic, which is fast as hell. I didn't want to cuss.
You could cuss on this podcast.
Oh,
That's
we
all
cuss
good.
all the time on
All
our
right,
show.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll go with that. But like Quicksilver in the MCU, get out of here, dude. Like he ran into some robots and like, whatever. And then
Hey, he gave it his
Quicksilver-
best shot.
literally best shot. Oh god. And then the X-Men Quicksilver is very, very close, but I feel like the DC Grant Gustin Flash could do that if they had enough money. That's really what it is. So I'm gonna go Grant Gustin Flash, Ezra Miller Flash, and then Sonic just because of the Chaos Emeralds.
Okay.
And fuck that squirrel from over the hedge. That's some bullshit. He's not even that fast.
Dude, that squirrel put in work though. Like he like.
God. What a movie, man. Bruce Willis was like a raccoon or something. What was he again?
He was a raccoon. Who's the bear? This is the Over the Hedge podcast. Welcome. Thanks for listening.
Like, so theories for movie number 2 of Over the Hedge.
Movie theories for the Nut Job 2 coming to HBO Max.
All right, Jacob Knight.
Oh, did I tell you guys I'm in the Nut Job too?
Oh, you heard it here first, folks.
They're like, who are
I
you?
have to say, Colin and I both auditioned for the same role, and Colin got it. And
He's been secretly talking shit behind your back. Just gonna throw that out there.
I know.
He's like, Colin's got a list. We could fire him.
All right, Jacob Knight, do you have questions for our guest?
I do have questions. Are
Okay,
we
go.
switching off and on?
Yeah, we're gonna switch off and on.
Should I call you Jacob Knight? I'm calling you by your real name. Should I call you that?
Noah Garcia and Jacob is fine. When I first started my online activity, vlogging and taking photographs and all that, I wanted sort of this digital pseudonym to kind of separate myself from the work I did, but I didn't do any effort in separating who I was and the online persona. So it's all one and the same. So it's fine.
Think of it this way.
Call me
Right now,
whatever.
he's Childish Gambino, but then when he's not, he's Donald Glover. Okay.
Got it. Okay.
So I am the second student in the Wid Ninja Academies.
Yes.
And did you see my camera? I also did it. I don't know if you saw me. The point is, when's my first lesson?
Well, if you think about it, that exists back in like the late 80s, early 90s. So you missed your first lesson by like 30 years. So
and you already did the new series, which is like a jump ahead.
Yeah, and the mystery is like, is my character dead or is he an old man or what's going on? And in episode 2, we dive into like we have a scene, a little bit of a spoiler. We have a scene where William is asking someone from First Ninja that has survived this whole time, wait, can I ask you a question? Of course, anything. Is Jackson Brooks still alive? And they're like, I don't know. So you missed your lesson by like 30 years, honestly. I don't know.
He's just like, is Jackson Brooks alive? And he's like, that bitch dead. And then he
no,
you out of the room.
He like takes him to the gravesite. Here lies
Yeah.
Jackson Brooks, the
We
most
think.
forgotten ranger ever.
All right.
You're the hero they deserve, not the one they wanted.
Well,
Like Batman.
I'm still sticking around. We're like at 1 million views right now, so I'll take
Congratulations
it.
on that. Congratulations,
Oh,
by
I
the
was
way.
just adding up all our videos. Thank you. I just want to. I want to like let the record show people know who Jackson Brooks is, but the joke of no one knowing who he is like my favorite thing. I think it's hilarious.
Mhm.
All right. So there's something I wanted
Okay.
to ask. So you've been making like YouTube shorts and originals for a little while over like 5 years, I'd say, right? That's a good jump.
Yeah, no one started caring until like 2017, probably when Reverse Flash came out. But yeah, I've been doing it for way long before, but no one watched. So.
Okay. So how would you say how different is it from like, let's say, just shooting a quick little I'm not trying to like, this is gonna sound like I'm belittling, but it's not, like shooting a quick little TikTok-esque film where it's just you and a camera with like very minimal FX, to going into like studios to where you're wired up. And there's something we've talked about off camera plenty of times, where it's like, dude, like I was like able to like jump across the room and they like zapped me. This was like fucking awesome, you know? So how is it like going from like, just a flip phone video to like full on like, 3-point camera setups, lights over here, you're lined up with a cable. How does that feel?
Honestly, to be perfectly honest with two of my friends and the listeners, I'm a little bitter. We work way less hard on these little short TikToks that get like millions and millions of views, and then we work for weeks and writing and pre-production and actually filming and post-production. The fan base is still there, and I'm so grateful for them. But I like am there with a drink in my hand, dressed as Burger King, and we break like 2 million views off of me just going, oh no, what's happening? So it's very, very different, and it's very weird, but I will always choose the quality over the quantity.
Mm-hmm.
Where I love doing the shorts because it's like immediate satisfaction. It's great making people happy and laugh and everything, but I will always choose the writing to the production to the post-production, the marketing, everything. I love the whole process of it, and I love being in an important role in all of it. Meanwhile, for the short ones like you're talking about, I kind of wake up, throw my Burger King costume on, and then we film something real quick, and it does really well. But yeah, so it's I'm a little bit. I wish that those people would come and watch what we work really hard on. But I'm grateful for anyone caring about what we do. Really,
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful for all the views and fans, and regardless of that.
Jacob Knight, do you have any questions right now, or do you want me to go again?
I just want to add to that. Although of course I don't get it on your level, but I can understand how you feel, because I'll do on my own YouTube channel. I kind of just do it for fun. I'll spend 20 minutes editing like an expose on something that matters to me, and then on the Geek Press TikTok, I'll make a quick like Darth Vader TikTok, and it'll get like 5K. And the video I spent like several hours on gets like 5 views. And even though no matter what I'm doing, I love both, the fact that something that has such instant gratification seems to have more value in the eyes of others than this 20-minute, docu series. It affects you, even though you care about both. It's like, well then, it's I can understand how that can be tiring.
Yeah, I
For
I
sure.
do I do think it's fascinating, like the SEO of everything. It's like you said, you could have a TikTok just do a ludicrous amount, and I'm talking like early 2000 ludicrous, and it's just like it'll just do some numbers, and then you could do something that just essentially, like in your eyes, will be a flop, and it's truly like mind-boggling to like to do stuff like that. Um, I now here's something. I'm just gonna be bringing up some like personal conversations, but it's not gonna be like a gotcha moment, I promise. So I remember you were talking to me when you were filming your character select. Now I would love to hear this story more of like detail from like your POV, but
Mhm.
it was something along the lines of me and Colin we talk all the time. So for our audio listeners or anyone listening, please forgive me if I forget like some conversations, because we talk like on a daily basis essentially. You had told me you were filming a character selected, but you were like virtually blind and you couldn't see where you were going, and you were just kind of like swinging around like Daredevil. You're like, where are you? It like you said, this was like one of your more interesting things to do. How do you go about doing a whole action choreography scene like blind?
Well, first of all, I was really excited to be back because in my first character select, I had injured my back and I thought I was never going to be
I
able to do
remember
it again
that.
just because of liability. And I don't have NerdBot insurance or anything, but I promised myself that I was going to like get healthier, work out, eat healthier, like get ready for this next character select. And it was Judge Dredd versus Mandalorian, which isn't out yet. And I put this Judge Dredd suit on. And I'm telling you, man, I felt fucking invincible up to here. And I was like, man, I feel like I could like lift a bus. This is awesome. It's all like muscled and like armored and everything. And then we did choreo 3 days, 3 different choreo sessions before we actually filmed. And then even on the day, so 4 days of us doing it without our suits on. And then we get our suits on, and Alex and I realize Alex has the Mandalorian helmet where if you're breathing, it fogs up, so he can't see either. And then I'm there where mine just tinted like a car tint from the outside, and I can't see. And the thing's pressing on my nose like this. And I was like, I don't know what the hell's going on. And I'm running in the dark, and I'm doing fight scenes where it's literally just, you have to go by beats. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Mhm.
So I'm there, 1, proving that I'm healthy enough to do this. 2, not being able to see. And 3, trying to do the best performance that I can after multiple days of training. And it got really, really frustrating because not only could I not see, my fight choreo partner couldn't see. And then the fight choreo guy that trained us is just like, what's going on? What happened? And I'm like, dude, this helmet, I can't see anything. And then so it really came down to Alex, which I will always give him props for. He goes, dude, don't worry about seeing. Let's just count it out. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then it was really just more like pacing like that. And then after he did that, things went so much smoother. But everything else was like me trying to see at the bottom of my eyes like this.
Mhm.
And I could see like his feet. And I'm like, but no, it was really rough. But it was also my first wire stunt, which I know you mentioned. And it was my favorite suit I've ever worn. And from what I hear on the rough edit, it might be the best thing that NerdBot's done. So I'm super stoked on it. That's what I hear. That's what I hear.
How many times did you have to run through a sequence, for example? Like, did you have
Man,
to
there
run
was
5
one
to
where
10 times?
there was one where it took, man, I want to say like 7 to 10, just because the armor on the Mandalorian kept falling off. And so I'd be there, and then I'd hear something clink, 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 and I'd be like, what happened? Are we good? What's going on? And then we'd have to like do it again. But then there's also this scene where I was running, and I was going to get my gun, but I'm running into this dark alleyway because I'm supposed to disappear into the dark alleyway. So imagine me with that helmet on,
Oh god.
with the tint, and I'm supposed to like lean down, grab the gun, and then run into darkness. I was just basically Ray Charles at that point. I was just like running. And then luckily, I think someone was there to catch me in the dark, but I was like really into, the character. I wouldn't just be like jogging to go get it. So I'm in a full sprint in this like 40-pound armor, and I grab my gun and I'm running, and all of a sudden I go, and I feel like clotheslined by it. Oh man, it was. But don't get me wrong, of filming for the past like 9 years or whatever, that was my favorite shoot ever.
That was
Despite
some
being
cheap ass
blinded.
Beskar.
Yeah, dude, the
Cheap
best
ass
star was such a
Beskar
plot point.
got robbed.
And you know what? When I wrote this episode, and I didn't know about like how powerful Beskar was, but then season 2 came out, and I was like, dude, that's literally enough. I'm not gonna say anything else. That's literally enough to be a plot point. And then you see it go against lightsabers and other Beskar, and I was just like, okay, I gotta write that in. I can't just like shoot him in the shoulder or anything.
Like,
but no, great
son
question.
of a bitch, you shot me in the shoulder.
I like shoot his toe. I'm like,
see, so here's my my pitch for your next character select. Okay, so
Colin, you'll pitch and I'll pitch after.
Okay, so this is I'm gonna make this a group effort. Colin,
if either of you guys do cereal or something stupid, please just skip it.
All right.
No, Colin, it's not like that one time on
okay,
pitch.
Okay.
Colin,
I have a real suggestion.
Who's your favorite fictional character?
My favorite fictional character?
Yeah, that could go into like a character select.
I've never been asked this before. My favorite fictional character.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sucker for Smallville's Clark Kent. I've
Clark
always
Kent.
loved it.
Okay, so we're going
Smallville's
Smallville.
Clark Kent, though.
Okay, you Jacob Knight. Who's going up against him?
Oh my gosh.
This is a lot of pressure, dude.
This is a lot of pressure now. I thought I had something and
Just
then I lost
okay,
it.
I'm gonna count down to
Okay, go
3,
again.
2, 1, and then
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, Harry Potter. I was about to say Harry Potter is a
magic.
baby.
Okay.
Honestly, magic could work.
All right, so
yeah, let's do some magic. Give me Harry Potter and give me Harry Potter versus Doctor Strange. Give me Harry Potter.
no, Harry
literally
Potter versus
Harry
Superman.
Potter to go against Clark Kent, Superman.
Okay, so listen.
That was a good battle.
Now I want a battle like this, but like I kind of want to like start off like I want to make this battle as realistic as possible. So let's say I've never seen Harry Potter, but let's say he shoots a Kamehameha out of his wand and he hits.
You've never seen Harry Potter?
No, I've that's a whole other conversation. Just like how I've never seen Naruto, out of spite.
No, do you want to like talk over here? Like,
yeah, we can start our own podcast. So we don't have to worry about it.
So I want one where it's just kind of like one of them's just kind of nonchalantly going by their day, and you see one of them like beam, and he's just like, "You son of a bitch! Why did you do that for?" Like he's just like super like offended that like Superman laser beamed Harry Potter. So he's like, "Bro, like I'm just going here," and then he's like, "You know what? You're really gonna try, motherfucker, right now." And then he pulls out the wand, and then boom, like I want to see like a HUD version of this. So that's my request.
Oh, I have a new.
Got it.
I know there are other channels, but that do this kind of stuff. But has there been Gandalf versus Dumbledore? Gandalf versus Dumbledore.
I don't think so.
But isn't that just how like Robot Chicken, Family Guy Chicken, Peter fights start? They just bump each other and like,
I wanted something like that.
Raw magic.
Okay.
So what you want is for people in the comments to talk shit about Colin and his career because of your idea.
That sounds like it.
Are you trying to ruin Colin?
I'm trying to ruin everyone. Because here's my theory. You take out.
You ruined me. You roped me into Geek Press, so you ruined me. That's where all my
Noah's a real one, dude. Noah's a real one.
You take out all the competition, so that way you're the only one. Okay. That's the plan.
What, you gonna start being a Power Ranger and a superhero or what?
Oh, that just reminded me of something. Okay, I'm gonna go on another little tangent. So not way before, maybe like 4 months before COVID was a thing, and we all went into quarantine and all that. I had texted Colin this idea of like this short that I wanted to do, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, like you could totally make this happen. I have some props. Come on down to where I live." And so I'm like, okay. And Colin lives roughly. It's a little bit of a drive. I'm not gonna say too much like the distance because I don't want to give any private information away. But it's like a day's worth of a trip. So I paid Colin a visit. We got some drinks, and we were just like, yeah, we're gonna shoot this thing. Blah 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 blah. Quarantine happens. Coronavirus. Now this has become like a monthly like joke where Colin's like, "Hey, so you just drive to my house and steal all my shit?" Like I am not kidding. I have like a Comic-Con bag which is like roughly like this big, like it was just props and all
Goodness
that.
gracious.
And he was like, "Hey, so you just drive when's the next time you gonna drive to my house and steal all my stuff again?" I'm like, "I'm gonna film this, I promise. I just don't feel comfortable filming like with all this right now." And I find it, and I'm being vague because I promise you I will get it done. But like he's telling me, "Oh, when are you gonna do your quick short?" And I'm like, "It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's like the big one in California. It's coming. You just don't know when. But when it does, I'll surprise all of you."
Should I spill the tea? Should I pull it out?
No, don't spill the tea.
Okay.
Because me, Jacob Knight, worked hard on writing a script and doing like a quick little promo and stuff.
I just want to say if Lewis wanted to, he could film it by himself. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
if he wanted to, that's all I'm gonna say.
Give me my shit back, fool.
That's all I'm saying. I mean, I also helped write the script. I shot promotional photos. I'm here. And
I just want to see Lou as a leading man. I want to see him as the lead of something. That sounds awesome to me.
Thank you. Okay, Jacob Knight, you had some questions?
Oh, I do have another question. Although I thought the stuff you said about Rising is very good. How do you, while I'm aware that, of course, when you work with partners like NerdBot, you often have to make certain stipulations to what your own creative mind has to work on next. But just in general, do you have, how much control do you have over what you next get to create in or is it kind of dictated also by NerdBot? Like, oh, we've been getting a lot of response from this. Why don't you work on this? Or how much freedom do you have in that realm?
That's a really great question, and I've never been asked it before, but I really appreciate it. I have a lot of freedom, honestly. I think that Elvin, who funds a lot of
Great
our
guy.
stuff, I love him, and he just kind of really likes my writing style and the fact that I'm not gonna like write a giant spaceship scene or like anything.
Yeah.
I really write to like our limitations, and I don't want to break the
Practical.
bank. So yeah, exactly, practical. So I have a lot of freedom. To give you a little example, it was quarantine. I was up in Big Bear with William Schufelt, who's our Red Ranger in Rise. And
TFTI.
thanks for the invite. Oh shit. Well, it was the end of the world as far as we know. And we're in the jacuzzi drinking tequila, and he goes, "Hey man, my agent wants me to do some original content. What do you got?" And I go, "I have an idea." And I pitched Solaris to him. And I think you'd be a great lead, and I think NerdBot should do it. And then he was like, "Okay, well, how do we make this happen?" I go, "Well, I'm filming tomorrow for Bloodline with Elvin. Let me pitch it to him." So we film all fucking day. I'm dying from sun poisoning. And I go to Elvin, I go, "Hey, I have a pitch for you." He's like, "What is it?" And I pitched basically the ending, which I won't tell you guys because no one knows the ending. I pitched the ending first, and I tell him everything else I have in line. And I made this character up in middle school, so it was all very special to me. And Elvin goes, "Yeah, I'm down. Just tell me what you need. What do we do next?" So it was that easy when he likes my ideas. Then on the opposite side of the coin, there's a secret project coming out that he approached me with that he wanted me to write. And I was pretty hesitant, but I wrote it, and it's all in production now. We just haven't announced it yet. So I have a lot of freedom, but also I feel like NerdBot will lean into me for writing or marketing or even like starring in things. So lots of freedom, lots of belief in what I do, but it wasn't always like that. Reverse Flash was a pitch we did because we've had a failed series before, which was the Nightwing series. So after these years and years of us working together, I think it goes along the lines of we like working together. And if there's an idea that we can do practically that doesn't break the bank, we just kind of believe in each other. So I didn't really want to do the secret project, and I was pretty vocal about it, but I'd do anything for Elvin. So I did it. And now we're like, in actual production. And then also Elvin believes in my crazy ideas too. And then when NerdBot absorbed Crimson Vision, everything changed after that. So this weekend we're doing Shattered Pass and Rise of the Ninja in one weekend, and it's all because Elvin just kind of trusts me. And I had to redo scripts and get the cast together, but it's just a really great situation. We're just lots of freedom, but lots of trust too.
Can I guess the ending of Solaris?
Sure.
Okay. Everyone who had a problem with somebody else says, "Oh, let's just sit down and talk about it," and then they all just talk about their problems, and it works out, and that's it.
You know what? I told you that in confidence.
Yeah.
What the?
Okay.
Dude,
sorry.
it is just a big powwow.
Lewis will cut it.
Stick.
Lewis will cut this part out.
Yeah, that's spoilers.
So I want to ask you some questions, Mr. Colin the Blur.
Talk to me.
Why hasn't she called me back yet? Like,
well, dude, it was because you threw up on your first date with her.
Yeah,
I think that kind of freaked you out.
Also, because you had a girlfriend, so
shit. Yeah, I
think that might have helped.
I think like on the
you
date.
have a girlfriend?
Hey, shut up. She's that. I think probably when I was on a date, I was like, "Hold on, my girlfriend's calling me." That's a real buzzkill. But
I thought it was the vomit all over the table, but
it was a mixture of both. It's hard to pinpoint where like it really went wrong, but like you could.
She was cleaning up the mess, and then the girlfriend called.
Yeah. Okay. So my actual question is this: you mainly take the lead when it comes to writing, right? And then like it'll go through like revisions or drafts where you send it to your editors or so on and so forth. But like
Right.
essentially you are the first line of defense where you're like all right, here, fix my problems essentially. You know, I'm of course I'm simply oversimplifying it, but that's like the gist of it, correct?
I think it's not fixing the problem; it's more just approval
Yeah, there we go.
based.
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
it goes.
uh,
So basically, I write it, but I also know how this team works,
mm-hmm,
and it goes through the director and producer, and then it goes to the VFX guy. And
okay.
it's all about like, can we do this? Do you like what's happening, or do we need to change this? But there is a show coming out where I'm only I'm only an actor in it, and that I think it's going to be big. But I am also like, sorry, hold on,
It's all
my
good.
ex. Yeah. Okay, so there's a new show coming out called Bloodline, and I'm just an actor in it. I have nothing else to do with it, and I think it's going to be huge. But I do not play the same role as I usually do in our other series. But I like the fact where I can write, knowing what these people are going to say.
Mm-hmm.
And it used to be kind of like a big battle back in like RFO days, really.
Mm-hmm.
And then now I kind of know what we can do with what we got. And our biggest issue is scheduling, and that's also kind of my problem. But yeah, I mean, I do the best I can with what we got, and we go through those. But it's not really like no one's fixing anything. It's just like, Colin, you're dreaming too big,
Mm-hmm.
and we've kind of hit not a wall, but kind of a mutual respect where we get each other, and I get what we can do, and it goes really, really smooth. Like I just had to do a rewrite for Shattered Past this weekend because one of our actors couldn't make it. And I did not send it in for approval. I go, hey, here's the rewrite. See you guys Saturday. And that's just kind of the trust we have.
Now, to kind of further build off that question, so when you're writing a script for you're either like you're doing a new show or you're continuing a show, and like you're introducing a character, would you say, just for the sake of conversation, okay? So let's say me and Jacob Knight, you're heavily considering us putting us in the show for whatever point, and
Yes.
like let's
Okay,
you're
is this question just to get on one of his shows, Lewis? Is this
nah,
what this
that's
is?
I got like a 2 year plan working on that. Don't worry.
Lou pulls up a contract. Would you sign this if you did?
Would you say so? Like, let's say you haven't talked to us about it yet. Okay.
Mhm.
Again, this is all just a
Okay.
hypothetical situation. You could fill
I
in the
love it. I
blank.
love hypotheticals.
You fill in the blank with anyone you know. You're writing and you're like, huh? For my next Power Ranger, the villain. You know what? The villain kind of like. When I'm writing this, I'm thinking Jacob Knight here. This is really Jacob Knight embodies this person. So do you kind of like when you're writing a script, do you think of like one of your friends in mind, whether it be Joe Blow, Jane Blow, you know, and then you approach and be like, hey, I wrote this script when I was writing it. This is you. Like we would really love to have you on board. Like do you like
Do you write
write?
parts for people?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm pretty much the opposite.
Okay.
I write parts
Oh.
based off of what we can do and what we got.
Mm-hmm.
A perfect example is our new Wolf Ranger for Rise of the Ninja.
Oh, she has a cool look.
Yes,
I
she's
thought she had a
gorgeous.
cool
She's
vibe.
super
Yeah.
nice. She came to do promo shots, and we all loved her already. But I literally was writing this next episode, and I was like, we needed a ranger, and we need something from Jungle Fury.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna write it and like hope for the best. So I type it up, and I have no idea what's going on with casting. But then I turned the script in, and they're like, all right, who are you thinking for it? And we're kind of all throwing out different people that are one, excited, two, down, and three, like not jaded
available.
or bitter or anything, and
Yeah.
available. Yeah. And then I remember seeing her in one of Irving Lambert, he's one of Vader's teammates. I remember seeing her, and she was in the pink ranger suit, and she like ran up and did this like Black Widow thing where she put her legs around this guy and like swung him around. And
Oh yeah, the leg head takedown thing. Where it's
exactly. And then I was like, I think I got someone. So also kind of like Destiny playing into it. In our next comic book for Shattered Past, we had a female Wolf Ranger. So it all just kind of lined up perfectly. So I hit her up. She was super nice, super excited. She came to do the photo shoot, and it went really well. Everyone loved her. And then we announced it.
Sorry about that, guys. Just like I said last podcast, same issue. We are using Discord, and if you guys noticed, it did kind of end abruptly right there. It's because my Discord decided to take a shit on me. So you may hear Colin repeat himself, talking about his Shattered Past project. So, Colin, can you take it again? Where you were saying that you had a female lead in the comic book, or a female character being introduced into the comic?
Yeah, so we did Rise of the Ninja
Mhm.
F2, and we casted this amazing girl, Kira Omens. And it turned out that our comic book writer introduced a female Wolf Ranger. So it all kind of lined up after the fact that I already planned for that and casted for it and did the promo shoots. And then so now she's already in our next comic book. So I do the opposite, where I don't write for a casting. I write and then I cast based off of what could work. So, but great question. I and then what I was saying is that if I had money, I would totally like write roles for people. But it's
Just
just
busted Adam Sandler and bring in all your boys, no matter what.
exactly. Well, dude, if you think about the CW thing we just did, Elvin pulled an Adam Sandler. All four of us were all people that have done Nerdbot stuff for years, so it works out.
I just remembered something.
Nepotism works.
So you were mentioning your failed Nightwing series, right? A little while back right now. And what I find really funny about that, this was my early days of journalism when I first started getting exposed to writing and all of that. Just to
Do
make
not
things
tell the story, Lou. Do not tell.
just to make things clear, I when I call myself a writer,
I would like to hear the
I
story.
I'm not like a writer in a sense where like Colin is, where he creates stories and all that. I'm more of like a journalist writer. I just wanted to kind of clarify that. And I remember I had hit up at the time. It was the editor in chief. Her name's Tiffany, lovely lady. And I had asked her. I'm like, hey, I'm seeing you guys are doing this Nightwing thing. Is it possible if I could get on set, just kind of take a peep? It looks kind of cool. And she was like, yeah, totally. When's your schedule? Blah 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 blah. I'll tell you when we're shooting. And then I couldn't because of school and work. But the one day I was like, okay, yeah, we could do this. She was like, Louis, I hate to inform you, but we kind of just decided to cut the cord on this. I was like, oh damn.
Oh, that's a
But
shame.
that just reminded me of that. I was like, damn, I was so close to meeting Colin, and then I had to
Dude.
wait years later when I met him at a party.
So we've been connected before we ever met each other.
Exactly. Yeah. Sorry, that was the one thing I wanted to say. Jacob Knight, do you have any more questions you'd like to ask?
No, I think I've asked anything I would ask now would just be silly. So I don't really have any like
All right.
important questions.
Now let me flip the question to you, Colin. We've been kind of interviewing you and asking you questions. I like for you to, if you have any questions to ask us. You know, this is like an interview at the end. What do you want to ask us? Do you have any questions?
Yeah. I've got a one for both of you.
Okay.
Wait, before you ask, I already know what you're gonna ask me. Colin, you're a handsome dude, but you already have a girl. It would never work out between us. The thing is, like, my top is so good, you'd want to husband me like that. And we just can't. Bro, we fucking can't, because I'm not ready for a marriage. So I just have to let you down here. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
I gotta go. This is why I was here. I was trying to impress Noah. Where's the end button on this thing?
It's over. That's the end of the podcast. Goodbye.
That was a good one.
I hate myself. What are you gonna ask, Colin?
I was gonna ask for both of you. I would like my future boo-boo to start, aka Noah. What is your dream job? Doesn't matter your qualifications or anything. Let's just pretend that your dream job gives you a really good life, money-wise, and you can do whatever. It's your dream job.
Writing comics, Teen Titans East, 20 issues, done. That's it.
Awesome.
I have a whole thing planned out. Every time DC has a new like rebirth or whatever, it kind of screws up my plans, which is rude. But you know, Teen Titans, I'd love to write comic books. I have so much fun in that. Like, I don't know if you watch the Geek Press videos, but usually I come out with like a comic episode every week. I just like
Good.
it's terrible editing, but like I just always talk about comics and stuff. So I would love to do that.
So comic book writer, but specifically for Teen Titans.
Yeah, that'd be the first book I want to do because I love the
Okay.
Teen Titans.
Very cool. Lou?
All right, so this is a two-part. This is a two-part thing. Okay, I've talked about
Of course
this.
it is with you.
I got inspiration from her name is Alana Pierce. She was a video games journalist and now she's a video game. She works as a writer. I kind of want to kind of follow her in her footsteps a bit in regards of like I would love to work at like an IGN, Kotaku, something like that. Build up enough clout and to where I can leave these companies and actually work in video games as regards to like writing. So I want to base my entire life around video games. That's something I think anyone who consumes Geek Press content or watches my streams knows I am very passionate about video games. I love learning about like, why is it when you press X you can open the door? Or like in Sea of Thieves, if the wind's blowing this way, your cannon's gonna go this way. I'm so entranced with the little nuances of video games. So yeah, so I would love to be a video games journalist, build enough clout, and try to work for a video game studio as a writer.
So you guys are both wanting to be writers, but in different categories. That's awesome.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Now you say it out loud.
Yeah. Well, the thing I think that is my dream job, but if I could have like a dream life, like I would be hosting a show. I'd be like a small acting because I don't like I like being like side character in the camera because I am technically a thespian. I'd love to do a bunch of different things, but like dream job 100% comic book writer.
Got it. And that dream job could lead to your dream life.
Yeah.
It's all connections,
Fingers
really.
crossed.
It's all who you know, as cliche as it sounds. It's true.
I know, Lewis. Is that gonna help? You went very quiet. Did the Discord lag? Are you still there?
No.
Oh,
Lou
okay. He's gone.
Lou will use you for your hookups. That's what's gonna happen.
I'm okay with that though. As long as you're a loyal homie, I'm okay with you using me.
He is.
Whatever
yeah,
connections
I
I
feel
have.
pretty loyal. I'll kick you while you're down, but I'll help you back up.
No, I'll tell Lou awful stories about me, and he'll be like, well, and like still have my back in a roundabout way. He's a very loyal friend.
Yeah,
he just pisses me off all the time.
There was this time where Colin was like, Lou, I just shot somebody right now. What do? I'm like, that person probably had it coming, but go get the barrow, start digging. We've talked about this. I got you, buddy. Don't trip.
And he was just like, It was Noah.
I'm like,
yeah.
Fuck.
I'm really surprised you're here, Noah. I just murdered you. So what are you doing?
Well, you shot me in the shoulder. I survived. I kill billed my way out.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Now for just a quick last roundabout. For Jacob Knight, is there anything you'd like to, tell our listeners or tell our watchers, anything like that? Just kind of quick words of wisdom before we wrap things up.
I feel like you guys are gonna plug your own stuff, so I'll just do me. You can follow me on Jacob Knight on YouTube. You can watch the Geek Press where I have videos every Friday. You can follow my photography page at Noah_Garcia_photography on Instagram. And I hope that you're all safe, sound well, and you're taking care of each other.
Really quick too. Last thing. If anyone is kind of curious, I know I've been kind of curious about this too, but Colin has explained to me offshoot. I've always been like a little like worried, just not kind of like, oh, I hope, just worried out of like a kindness place. If you guys are ever curious, when Nerdbot Films, Colin has reassured me they follow like protocols and they have like very minimal people on set. That's something I'm just kind of throwing in there last second, but I forgot to bring up. But yeah.
Yeah, we even have a safety COVID safety officer.
I didn't even know that, so that's cool.
I wasn't worried before, but now I am that you brought it up. Now I care.
Yeah, so that's something really quick. Yeah, they do it safely. And Colin, any last words of wisdom?
Yeah, there's one phrase that I try to ring in my brain that I always like to share whenever it pops up on my Facebook memories. Promote what you love, stop bashing what you hate.
That's a great thing. And also too, for any like aspiring film makers, what would you tell them? If they're on the fence or they're maybe like, man, maybe I shouldn't do this. Inspire them.
You will learn as you fail, and I'm still learning every day, and I'm still failing every day. But at the pinnacle of how far we've come and the time that we've come, it's all been worth it. So take chances, be brave, be creative, and get out there and make something. You're only going to learn and get better each time and create amazing relationships the whole journey.
That was really inspirational. Thank you for that, Colin. At least for me, I just want to say, if you're thinking about getting into any kind of media, the barrier of entry is always going to get harder and harder and harder, but today is going to be easier than it is going to be tomorrow, and then so on and so forth. So if you want to just start, like someone like me, a common thing I hear, if you want to get into like games journalism, just start making content. So I think we could all agree here on one way, shape, or another. We all create content on the internet, and I think like that could, that translates to about almost everything. Today's going to be easier than tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be harder than today, kind of thing. So just start today. And if you guys have made it this far into the podcast, I thank you. Jacob Knight thanks you. If you guys want to write into the show, go for it. Our social media handles for Instagram and Twitter are at the Geek Press. It's DAGEEKPRESS. If you want to leave any kind of remarks, I believe our DMs are open. If not, just simply add us. Be like, hey, I liked it when you guys did this. Talk about this more. I didn't like it when you guys talked about this. Please talk about this less. Any constructive criticism or comments, we would even shout you out. So we'll be like, at Colin K. Bass, Luis Gutierrez is a handsome devil. Please keep him on. I'll be like, yeah, we will keep him on. So anything like that. And if you guys want to follow us on TikTok, we are The Geek Press. So it's TheGeekPress. And our YouTube channel, of course, is The Geek Press. And just want to really thank you guys for, just supporting us time and time again. I want to thank Colin for taking time out of his busy schedule to come on the podcast and talk to us. We've loved having you on
Thank
board.
you, Colin.
That was fun.
Yeah, it's
super
crazy.
fun.
It's crazy to believe that I started this whole thing a little while ago, and my podcast has been inconsistent up until maybe like 3 weeks ago, and I'm seeing the benefits of being consistent, and it's great. And lastly, for everyone out there, just please be safe, wear a mask, and try to social distance as much as you can, and just be considerate of others, and just take care of yourself. But with all that being said, my name's Luis Gutierrez. This is Jacob Knight, and we got Colin K. Bass here, our special guest for episode 10. Thank you all for listening and watching. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, please leave a good thumbs up and leave a good comment. And if you're listening on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, just leave a good review. And that would really mean a lot to us too. But with all that being said, I hope you guys have a great day, great night, great afternoon, and we'll see you when we see you. Take care, everybody.
Peace out, baby.
As always, thank you for listening to episode 10 of the Geek Press podcast. If you guys can, if you're watching on YouTube, please leave a thumbs up and comment. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, or whatever audio platform, please leave a good review and we'd really appreciate it. But until then, we'll see you when we see you. Take care, everyone.